Good morning. Yeah. Good morning. Welcome back to the show. This is episode 630 of them two dumb yinzers. Yeah,
Ooh,
baby.
6:30.
Word on the street, Mike. The word on the street is this. That you
awesome.
started playing. Now, this is an email we get from somebody that
Okay.
you started playing music so I wouldn't sing anymore at the top of the show.
That may or may not be correct. I will not confirm nor deny. To borrow a phrase from James Franklin up at Creepy Valley, my head coach, on the advice of counsel, I'm not making any comments on that.
So there you go. You're gonna have to wait for my singing till after the music plays. I could sing all kind of things for you. Good morning, Jen. Good morning, Mark on the board. How you guys doing this morning? Yeah, it's Friday. Welcome back, everybody. This is episode 630 of the Two Dumb Yinzers.
Woo!
A lot of stuff going on this weekend. Unfortunately, none of the stuff that's going on this weekend is the Steelers.
I know.
This is Steelers game eve, if you will. But we will be talking more about that, obviously, as the day goes on. Good morning to Field of Steel. What is up? What is up? What is up in Texas, my man? Before we get started here, a couple of things. Did anybody notice yesterday during the show? Now, yesterday we did a news segment. We tried something out. It was called Ask Derpy. Good afternoon to you as well, Brian and Debbie. Good afternoon. Or good morning, if you will, if you're on the West Coast or in Texas or in Wisconsin or anywhere like that. Good morning to you. Derpy yesterday, we did this segment called Ask Derpy.
Yes.
And we had people ask random questions on the board, and he would answer them. And I thought this would be hilarious. And you know what? In its own right, it was.
It was funny.
Entertaining. I don't know if it was John. And Derpy's answer was, "A dog. I got a dog."
Oh yeah, like, you
What
cut out
was
for a second
that?
there, yeah, but yeah, like, what's your favorite? Is doggy your favorite position? And he's like, I have a dog. Like, yeah, like you said, that should not be
I have
the
a
answer,
dog.
bro.
That shouldn't be
I
the
loved
answer
it,
to
though.
anything. John said,
No, but I loved it.
Do you
I
prefer
loved it. It was
doggy
great.
style? And Derpy's response was, I have a dog. But you know what? That made it that's what I was expecting. I'm going to be honest with you. I wasn't expecting any more or any less. That was what I was expecting from Derpy, and that's why I did it.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a lot of fun moving forward, I think. But that was a head scratcher. I don't know how many times throughout the course of the day yesterday I found myself cracking up. I just out of nowhere, I thought of that Derpy, and I just busted out laughing.
This is why Derpy sticks around, because you never know what he's going to say.
He's an all-star.
He is an all-star. He's that fourth liner on the Penguins, that glue guy that you need. He's that scrappy special teams guy on the Steelers that you need, and he comes through in key situations like yesterday.
On the board, they're rolling in now. Phyllis still said it was a Tomlinism. I like that. Brian says Derpy is a true politician. I like that. And then Mark Malone, poor dog. I like that the most.
Yeah, poor Derpy's dog. I don't know what's going on there with Derpy's dog. It started off.
Quite frankly, I'm worried.
When Field of Steel said, asked, plain or peanut, I was like, ooh, Derpy with the dog and stuff. Should we marry these questions together? It might be highly inappropriate.
And the thing is, no matter how simple the question is, with Derpy, who knows what the answer is going to be?
I know.
Who knows what's going to come out of his head? It's going to be following a long pause, but it's going to be and it's Derpy, and that's why I thought, man, this is going to be great. Yeah. So again, guys, moving forward, we will continue this bit. So if you think of something throughout the week or throughout the weekend, and you think, man, I would love to see what Derpy would have to say about that, jot it down or keep it in mind, and we'll certainly
Yeah.
We'll do this because like I said, I think this could ultimately be hilarious with him.
I don't know.
What kind of
John.
entertainment?
I don't.
Well, let me answer
know.
this real quick, Mike. John says, "What
Yeah.
kind of entertainment does Derpy offer?" Now, Mike's been the only one that's been brave enough from the show to go over and check out his site. And what I got back from it, it's kind of a bizarre thing going on. What was it the one time? Like he was talking to some Asian kid about the Power Rangers or something. They were talking about their favorite Power Ranger.
Yeah, they were. No, they had like the Power Ranger movie come out, and he was offering his thoughts on it. Like, that's why I love Derpy. Right. Like, yeah, he'll talk about like what commentaries on like the different comic book movies, his reaction to different things, and then he made that great hype video for his Cleveland Guardians. So he's kind of all over the place. He's Derpy. He's our Derpy, and
he's an enigma.
Like he said,
he is our Derpy. He's an enigma.
Yes, and I wish he was here today because the people are
so there you go.
Love. And like because he is a politician. He's like JFK up in this bitch. He's a man of the people. And I'm gonna be like Jack Ruby and Lee Harvey Oswald.
Finally, Goldfish, the fun, famous kids snack. The kids love to snack on these goldfish. I know you've seen them. I'm sure you've eaten them. Goldfish will now be known as Chilean sea bass. I kid you not, this is 100% true. This is temporary. And this is to show that these can be that goldfish got after 1 million years of being goldfish. They are now, so if you're going to buy goldfish, don't look for goldfish anymore. They're going to be called, and I kid you not, this is 100% true. They will be called Chilean sea bass. So little Timmy wants his,
I don't like it.
When little Timmy wants his Chilean sea bass, you'll know what he's talking about. And you'll thank me.
Well, that way, like, the kids can't accuse you of eating their goldfish. It's like, no, I'm eating my Chilean sea bass.
You're right.
Back the F up, little Timmy. You have your little goldfishes over there. I got my Chilean sea bass.
What a dumb thing. You know what I mean? I'm an adult, and I know that I could eat that. I mean, how stupid, where are we?
But that's going to work. There was market research done about this, and people are going to spend the money on it.
And that's not even a real, it's not even a name that says, you know what, hey, come try this snack. I mean, Chilean sea bass.
Chilean sea bass.
And I kid you not, this was on the local news website on one of the news channels, and this is 100% true. I can't believe it myself. On the board, Jen says, but why? Phil is still, what the F? Mark Malone, what the F? But it is true, guys. So when you go to buy your goldfish next time, just remember they could very well be Chilean sea bass.
Gotta be marketing there that says, hey, we're gonna make a ton of money by doing this.
I highly doubt it. And again, I don't know. It doesn't make much sense to me.
It does not. But somehow it will work in their favor.
So here we are, guys. It's Friday, heading into the weekend before a Steeler Monday Night Football game. This is how things are going to play out. We are going to have our Monday morning show, but it's going to be a combination show. Brian Pasquale, who we usually do our Sunday pregame show with, will be joining us for a period of time on Monday to do a segment that's connected from his show on Sunday. However, the show will run as it normally does, but he will be here on Monday morning with us to do a little bit of that. But the pre-show, the Steeler show leading into the game will certainly be Monday morning. And so we got a lot of stuff to go over before then, Mike, because there's a lot of sports going on. Then we will certainly make sure we hit on our Steelers, but it's Friday, which means there's a lot of sports. Jen says poor Timmy won't be able to say that, and we'll shorten it to Mommy, I was ass. Yes.
Mama, give me my ass.
Mama, give me my ass. I want to start with the Pitt game. And I know everybody will like the Steelers, but guys, if you just hang with me, because this is exciting for me. Excuse me, please. And then if you watched the game, it was on ESPN last night. It was the college football game of the week between Pitt and Syracuse. Pitt came in with ranked number 19 overall in the country. They were 6-0, and they came in playing the 5-1 Syracuse Orange. I got to say this. If you're a football team that plays your home game at Acrisure Stadium, you're pretty happy right now. The
Oh yeah.
culmination between the Pitt Panthers and the Steelers, there's a combined record of 12-2 at the moment. The Pitt Panthers, they extended their winning streak for the first time since 1982. The Pitt Panthers are 7-0. I'm sure come Sunday afternoon, we'll move up in the rankings again. As I said, they were 19 going into the game last night, and it was a convincing win over a Power 5 school, 4, whatever it is now, I don't know. And the Pitt Panthers beat Syracuse 41-13. They became the first FBS team with 3 pick sixes in the first half of a game since 2005, almost 20 years. They intercepted 3 balls off of Kyle McCord, who was the Ohio State quarterback, makes the transfer over to Syracuse. That's all I heard about all week was this Kyle McCord. He's going to kill you. He's amazing. He's amazing talent. He's from Ohio State. Blah, 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 blah. Kyle McCord couldn't even get the ball out of his hands last night. Let me start by saying that. We had 3 pick sixes in the first half, 2 in the first quarter, 5 total interceptions on the night.
Mm-hmm.
He threw 6 through the first half of the season. He threw 5 last night. Our defense was on. And that was my only concern about this team. It really was, because the offense has been so hot this year, was the defense. And if they continue to do what they did last night, I'm very confident in this team. And Mike, I think this is what's going on here. No matter what, we are going to find a way to track Penn State down and beat them and play them, because they haven't played in forever. And Pitt fans always call for this. And if it takes us going 12-0 and making a playoff spot just to get the chance to play Penn State, you know what? Damn it, we're going to do it.
That's how.
And it'll be a lot of fun.
That's what it's going to take.
They got a big game next week against SMU. SMU is right now they're ranked 22 in the country. They play a game this weekend as well, which means they'll probably be higher than 22. Coming into the game, a lot of speculations that it could be College Game Day, could be down in Dallas for the SMU Pitt game next weekend, which could be a lot of fun. And I think they should take advantage, because here you got these teams who generally aren't that good. They're not the Ohio States. They're not the Michigans, Georgias, and take advantage and get some other exposure on these schools, which I think is awesome. Because you do have some magical rides going on in college football this year. Not only Pitt, but if you look around, there are some other things going on. It's actually pretty interesting. Defense, again, was all over the place last night. This guy couldn't get a pass off, Mike. I mean, he ultimately got his yards, but a lot of it came in trash time at the end of the game when you're already down. But again, our defense, I've never seen a Pitt defense play like this in my life. I never have. I've been, a Pitt fan for a pretty long time. That defense looked like an NFL defense at certain times last night, Mike.
Oh, they were flying around. Like, by the time I got to the game, turned on the game just a little bit late. It was Syracuse's first drive. It was like, the second or third play? Pick 6 right off the bat. And the way that defense was flying around, right after that, they're not going to lose this game, because Syracuse did not look ready to play at all. Pitt was firing on all cylinders on that defense, and it reminded me of that game 2-3 years ago against Virginia, when MK Devonshire had the back-to-back interceptions, and it looked like the replay. That's what it felt like this game. Like, another interception. So, well done, Pitt Panthers. Well deserved.
Yeah, they have a nice team. And you know what? I got to give it up to Narduzzi, because he had a couple down years, but you know what? Since he's been here, you had a team that won the ACC. You had, what's going on now. So for all these Narduzzi haters, I don't get it, because this team is doing more than it's done in my entire life. Take way back to Marino and Tony Dorsett and, those kind of players' days. But, for what it is, you gotta give it to the dudes, because what he's doing up there is a lot of fun, to say the least.
Yeah.
Also, Mike Ben Saul's the kicker. This dude, they were saying last night on the game that somebody should take this dude in a draft. He's that good. He kicked a 58-yard field goal last week. He kicked a 57-yard field goal this week. He still hasn't missed a field goal yet this year. Ben Saul truly is a beast, and whoever ends up getting this guy, whether it be through free agency or however kickers usually get signed, I think he's going to make a pro team really happy one day. He may be one of the best kickers in college football.
Yeah, he might be. And
he's a southpaw too. He's a lefty.
Yeah, that's an odd one right there, because you don't see a lot of lefty kickers. Yeah, you know, a team will take a flyer on him in the draft. There's always that team every year that will take a punter or a kicker in the fourth,
Yeah.
fifth round, and everyone's like, "Why?" And you better hope that it pans out, kind of like Janikowski.
You
If
remember
you,
that?
yeah, I thought that was like a smart move because they got him and Shane Leckler in the same draft, and those guys kicked there for over a decade. You didn't have to worry about 2/3 of your game. Uh, yeah, I have no problem drafting a kicker because who's going to score the most points on your team?
Yeah.
It's the kicker.
You know what? That's such a true statement, and people, rarely ever think that way. That guy does get the most points on your team, no matter what. And we tend to push them guys to the back for the
Yeah.
flashy guys, the fast guys, the guys that can jump high
Yeah.
and run fast. But they certainly are worth it because they,
Yeah.
like you said, they score a majority of your points, no matter which way you
Yeah.
slice it. They're
Yeah.
involved in every touchdown, and then everything after that, it's 3 points. So, um, just real quick, yes, I'm sorry, Jen. I picked that up as I was reading it, but I read it wrong. But now you're saying it. She wrote it. She says, when you're buying your kid
Yeah.
their Chilean sea bass,
Yeah.
your child will then say, "Mommy, I want some ass. I want ass.
Mommy, I want ass.
Mommy, I want ass. Mommy," in the aisle in the grocery store.
Oh, it'd be great. I can see my kids saying that.
Yeah, I could too. But
Uh,
while we were on college football, let me get into these other games. Mike, your Penn
Yeah.
State coming in at number 3, which is awesome. They
No.
do play at Wisconsin.
Yeah.
That game is at 7:30 tomorrow. Penn State at Wisconsin. Also, Derpy's Ohio State. They host Nebraska. I swear this team never plays on the road. Every damn time. Mike, I say this every week.
I know. They are always at home.
Number 4, Ohio State. They host Nebraska. That game is at 12 o'clock tomorrow. And then West Virginia, they are hosting Arizona. That's a 7 o'clock game. Some other notable games for the weekend when it comes to college football are number 8, LSU at number 14, Texas A&M. Here we go. Number 12, Notre Dame at number 24, Navy. Number 21, Missouri at number 15, Alabama. Number 5, Texas at number 25, Vanderbilt. So there are some games where you got, ranked teams playing ranked teams. Those are always a lot of fun. And there are a handful of them this weekend. So my team's already done. So I can enjoy college football. You know how, like, when your team plays that day or they're playing while other games are on, you can't enjoy it because you're worried about what your team's doing.
Yeah.
I like this. You get your game out of the way on Thursday. Now I can just enjoy. I don't have to worry about losing. I don't have to worry about any of that.
So
now I can watch your guys' teams and see if you can pull it off.
I have to stress against a game against Wisconsin because James Franklin could never have the team ready to play. Penn State started slow all year, and if we come out slow this week, a loss is a possibility. If we come out slow next week against Ohio State, a loss is definite. So I'm going to be hating my sports weekend. Thanks, Ryan. Thanks.
You got it, mister. You got it, dude. So
God.
So if you're in the Pitt facility, let's just go next door. Let's talk some Steelers.
Yes.
I'm wondering if they get advice from the Steelers because that defense come out last night, Mike. That was like again in college football, that was dominant defense.
Mm-hmm.
It just makes you wonder who, maybe they walk next door and get some advice from the guys on the pro team who kind of got a good defense, and
kinda. They all right.
So the Pittsburgh Steelers guys, Roman Wilson re-aggravated his hamstring yesterday. Another setback for Roman Wilson. Little injury news going into the weekend. So it's very, very highly doubtful that this dude's going to play this week. Mike, are we going to see Roman Wilson at all this year?
I'm gonna go with no. I really am gonna go with no.
It's truly incredible what's going on.
It is. You can tell like Tomlin's frustrated. He's frustrated that this guy is just getting injured over and over. Because you can tell he wants him out there. You can tell they had designs of this guy stepping in right away and be the number 2 receiver, and they're frustrated by it, and that's why they didn't shut him down. And maybe they should for the year. Just shut him down, put him in a plastic bubble, and let's keep him keep him around for next year. But yeah, I don't think we see him this year because he's just so injury prone this year, which is mind boggling. Because I'm trying to think back, I don't remember any medical red flags at the combine, anything in college. So this guy's just getting hit with the injury bug this year. We saw it 2 years ago with Calvin Austin. Now it's back with him, and it sucks. Like our two of our top guys that we wanted to play this year, you know, Roman Wilson and Troy Fatanu are both out. But if they both can get healthy and come back later in the year, those are two good pieces to the puzzle to have. So, but I'm leaning towards no. We do not see him at all.
Yeah, it's just frustrating, Mike. Again, 2 seasons ago was Calvin Austin. I couldn't wait to see this dude.
Yep.
And then last year it was Corey Trice with me. I couldn't wait to see him, and he was out all year. Now Roman Wilson. It's annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is where I was going to get ready to go next. The game last night between the Rams and the Vikings. A lot of people expected the Vikings to win this game. Rams come out looking good. They win 30-20. But I think the more important information. Now let's get some numbers here on Cooper Kupp. I don't know where I put him. Cooper Kupp did well. I think he had five catches, 51 yards. Excuse me. 1 touchdown and a 10.2 average per catch. This is who we want, Cooper Kupp. But Sean McVay out in Los Angeles tends to think that he's not going anywhere. He says, this is our guy. We wanted him back, and he's not going anywhere. So somewhere around, in other words, he says this last night. Mike, does that truly mean anything? Because at the end of the day, if you get the phone call from another team's GM and your GM decides they want to make a move, of course he does have say. But do you think anything happens with this, or do you think that this just sizzles out because Sean McVay says that he's not going anywhere?
And now that brings him back, to 3-4. The NFC West is not looking that good, and it puts him right back in contention. I can see nothing happening. It's going to depend on the rest of the week. See how Seattle does. See how, because what Seattle plays, what San Fran. See how the division shakes out. See if you're in a better spot than you were before he and Puka came back and you won this game. They might hold on to him. They might think, hey,
coming in about 10 days, give or take, maybe 11, 12 days in the deadline. It's on election day. Yeah. So, I mean, something's got to give here, Mike. I mean, we're down to almost the deadline.
Yeah.
Something's got to give, right? We can't possibly go through this season without having another receiver. I've never seen this.
We can if no team wants to make a deal. Remember, it's not just.
Is it because we shafted people? Is it because we pulled one over on some teams?
Not shafted. I think it's because
I'm hearing, Mike, that this is why teams might hesitate to make a move with us because they don't want to get fleeced by the Pittsburgh Steelers. This is what I'm reading. Is this?
Yeah, they'd rather deal with the reigning Super Bowl champions than Omar Khan. It could be it. It could be maybe GMs are getting talking to their guy, like, hey, where do you want to go? Is Pittsburgh a place you would like to go? And they're like, the passing offense hasn't been that great. Maybe I don't want to go there. Yeah, they got a good defense, getting a good run game.
But didn't the reigning champions just pick up a receiver?
Yeah, they
just picked up a. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
so I'm not really concerned about them.
But no, what I'm saying is Tennessee traded within the division, and maybe you would have traded with Pittsburgh out of the division, but Omar Khan, people don't want to be seen as being fooled again by him. And GMs are egotistical. So I don't know. Are they sitting on their hands, or
Mike? Are
we trying to do it? Teams don't want to trade.
Are we going to be on the final stretch with Van Jefferson as our number 2 quarterback?
Yeah, we're gonna have Van Jefferson and Calvin Austin. I think it will be our 2 and 3. And
they're like half a guys. You could say that they're both number 2 or they're both number 3.
Hey, Scotty Miller, not Scotty Miller, but Van Jefferson did catch a touchdown last week. They're showing signs of life.
So did an offensive lineman for Tampa Bay, I think.
Yeah, I know, right? We had a fat guy touchdown, but no, if nothing happens at the end of this week, I don't think anything gets done. because this would be
End
the
of
perfect time
this week, like
end of this week.
today.
Yeah, or middle of next
Interesting.
week because we got the bye. If yeah, like you said, it's coming up close because this would be like the perfect time to make a trade. Would be like Monday, Tuesday, make a trade in that area right there, and then they have the week to get here and then get ready for the game. So, but I just right now I'm thinking, looking at the landscape, I don't see anyone making a trade right now with the Steelers. I thought
Hey
Cup would be
P,
the
what's
guy.
up, brother? In the practice squad, QB run rough. Yeah.
Oh, if we only had
So
who was that the preseason quarterback that you fell in love with? The guy that was doing punt returns, kick returns, quarterback, running
yeah,
back, wide receiver.
John Rice
John Lee
Plumley.
Plumley.
John
We can
Lee.
go
John
find
Rice Plumley.
we can go find Plumley down at Pawn Stars or wherever, and
Yeah,
we can
where
get
is
him
that?
out
Where
there
is that
running routes.
Plumley at? Well,
Yeah, we can go
we do
get
have
him.
another player joining the squad, Mike CJ Henderson. He's going to be making his debut this week as a Pittsburgh Steeler. Of course, he's been on the practice squad after we snatched him up. He was on the practice squad of maybe Jacksonville, somewhere like this. The Steelers snatched up CJ Henderson. He is a DB, and he's going to be debuting as a DB / special teamer. So you will be seeing CJ Henderson this week. He was a first-round pick about 3 or 4 years back. So, I mean, he was projected to be a pretty good corner in the league. Something just happened. It didn't work out for him, but we do have somebody that's going to be playing this week. CJ Henderson, he was a first-round pick, and he will be debuting as a DB / special teamer on Monday night. So hopefully that might help a little bit, but we got Cam Sutton coming back as well. I'm not really concerned about the secondary. There's really no reason to be concerned about the secondary at the moment.
Yeah.
But this damn wide receiver position, they come to work every day. They sit in the office. They have one of the top franchises in the NFL, and it just does not seem alarming that they don't have a wide receiver. After everything else you did for this team, you made a lot of work into the Steelers team. You want to be competitive. You want to win that playoff game. Just kind of blows my mind that we're still sitting here wondering if we are going to get a number 2 receiver. So as you said, Mike, I mean, it's coming down to it. We only have till the election day, I believe, is trade deadline. So maybe they're going to sit down during the bye and try to get something done. But again, I don't know how you're expecting to become a better team and win a playoff game if you don't put a person in a position that it's a pretty important position on a football team.
Yeah, but it's hard to make a trade if the other team doesn't want to make a trade with you. And I don't want to see them just go out to make a trade.
No
for
teams want to make a trade with us.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to make a trade with Omar Khan. F that guy. He made Chicago.
See, so we're kind of getting screwed because this guy's good, right?
Yeah. Is he like if it was Kevin Colbert as the GM, I'm sure teams would be like, oh yeah.
No, they'd all be taking advantage of us. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
John says it is a known fact that the Steelers have been lacking with passing offense for a few years, plus wide receivers talk to each other throughout the league. And that's the thing. It's not that this is a new problem. We've been having issues passing the ball for a few seasons. Phyllis still says, I mean, if Wilson is going to cook, I just don't know. I mean, we ever going to see this dude?
Yeah, Russell.
Or unless you're talking about Russell. But again, give Russell a number 2 receiver. I guarantee Russell is a better quarterback.
Oh yeah, he got Van Jefferson as number 2.
Exactly.
I think lost in the equation. I think what they saw the last week. Let's see if we can go out again and get George his numbers, get Freiermuth his numbers. Then we're going to sprinkle in Van. We'll sprinkle in Calvin Austin. We'll sprinkle in.
But that isn't how it works.
And Mount Washington in. Their hands might be tied if they can't swing a trade with someone.
If you have Patrick Mahomes, you could pull this off.
Yeah, if you have Mahomes, you can pull it off.
You see what I'm saying? Like you know.
Yeah.
I mean, they're expecting Mahomes results with
Russell Wilson. Without end stage Russell Wilson. If it was like prime Russell Wilson, I think he would definitely get it done. But right now,
let me ask you this, Mike. If Russell Wilson had a bad defense in Seattle his whole career, I don't think Russell Wilson is as successful as he was. And that defense was always good in Seattle. That always kept them in games, and that always allowed Russell Wilson to be in situations to to play well, and they weren't coming from behind a lot. It just seems to me, again, if they didn't have a good defense or you didn't have Marshawn Lynch, I don't know. I'm not saying he's not great. He was a great quarterback. He's going to go to the Hall of Fame. No two ways about it. But again, especially like you said, Mike, at this point in his career, what are we really expecting? And can we expect him to perform the way that he did this past week down the stretch into the playoffs?
Yeah.
How many times are we going to kick the tire? In other words,
Yeah.
and how many times is it going to allow us to kick it?
Yeah, and that's the thing. Maybe you got to play this Monday night game, and then they'll reevaluate the offense and go from there and see if they can find someone to make a trade. But I'm like how busy they were in the offseason signing players, how busy they were in the draft, moving up and down. I it's hard for me to fathom them just sitting in the office going, we're good enough. We got what we got. It's not. So, like, I'm almost 100% positive they are working the phones trying to, swing a trade with another team when it comes back to, that old saying, it takes two to tango. And if they don't want to, and if they go to their player, like, hey, man, we got this trade figured out. Do you want to go to Pittsburgh? And they're like, no, I don't want to. If you can find somewhere else for me to go to help the team, yeah, I'll do it. That might be what's happening with someone like Cooper Kupp. He's been in LA been a Ram for so long, showing him that respect of where do you want to go to end your career? Where do you want to go to end the season?
And let me make myself clear. I'm very happy with what happened last week, and I hope that it continues to happen. Don't get me wrong. I hope Russell does well enough for this team to do good and get in the playoffs and make some noise and everything. I mean, but again, just looking at it realistically, that's where I'm coming from. So I'm not trying to bring anybody down. Let me try to soften the load by saying this. The game through the first 6 games of the season, our offense, Mike, per play, the first in this order, they managed to get 4.1 yards per play in the first game, 4.3, 5.3, 5.9, 4.0, and 4.7. When Russ played last week, Mike, they had 6.3 yards per play. I mean, that's obviously a difference. This Russell Wilson, he's 3-1 versus the Giants in his career.
Yeah.
You got to like that. And again, this Giants isn't a good team. I just hope that they don't trip and fall. I honestly don't think they're going to. I think they're going to have a lot of fun. They're going to be out there, color rush. The fans are going to be nuts. People are just happy and excited in this town for, you got Pitt doing really good. You got the Steelers doing good. The way they played and looked and everything last week on Sunday night, I can't imagine the electricity will be any less this Monday. I think it's going to be another good night for the Steelers. I think they win this, go to the bye week, try to get healthy, come back out with the the Commanders, and then the stretch after that. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun, Mike, this Monday night football game. Again, Steelers host the New York Giants on Monday. Here's a couple interesting notes. The Steelers have not lost a home Monday night football game since 1992. Since Bill Cowher took over, the Pittsburgh Steelers have not lost a Monday night home.
Okay, now you just jinxed us. You just jinxed us, my friend.
No, that's only for kickers. And also,
okay.
And if that didn't wet your palate, listen to this one. Ooh. Daniel Jones, the quarterback, Danny Dimes up there in New York, 1-14 on primetime.
I love it. I love
14.
It. Those are my favorite quarterbacks to go against. Oh man. Well, if you look at the thumbnail, the picture I put up of Danny Dimes, that's what I expect him to look like by the end of this game.
I didn't see it. I will check it out, though.
Oh, God. He looks lost and confused, and that's what I hope Danny Dimes looks like this weekend.
Last time the Pittsburgh Steelers hosted the Giants. Last time we hosted the Giants, guys, the game started with a safety. Le'Veon Bell had 182 yards all-purpose. Lawrence Timmons got his first interception of his career.
Timmons.
And the Steelers broke the Giants' 6-game winning streak at the time. So those things, last time we hosted the Giants, which would have been roughly 8 years ago, the game started with a safety. Lev Bell had 182 yards. Timmons got his first career pick, and they broke the Giants' 6-game winning streak. Mike, anything that you're specifically going to be watching for in this game?
Yeah, big old Dexter Lawrence in the middle of that Giants defense. My man is a mountain of a human being.
Mike, is DeVito starting real quick? I'm seeing Phil still put that. I thought DeVito was starting.
No, I thought
I
Danny
did.
Dimes is starting, as far as I know.
Okay, just double checking. Good.
Yeah. The active depth chart I'm seeing in injury report is Danny Dimes starting.
Okay.
DeVito is still down on number 3. But yeah, Dexter Lawrence. This guy he's a beast. 6'4", 330, middle of that defense. Like I said, 9 sacks? He only has like 24 total tackles, but 9 of them are sacks. He's going
Wow.
to be a handful up the middle.
He's got to be literally the only one that's doing anything on that team.
For the most part, yeah. You got him. I forget who they got. Brian Burns, really good outside linebacker. They have him, but their other really good young outside backer, Thibodeau, he's on the IR, so they ain't much there. But this defense, man, Deontay Banks, young cornerback, he's pretty good. But this defense, yeah, Saquon Barkley what for almost $180-200 on them last week, but most of the majority of those yards, like I think 150 yards, came on 3 runs. So they were stuffing the run against the Eagles, who still have a pretty good offensive line and a really good running back. So I'm looking for them to stifle our running game for a while, but we have to be patient with it. Najee, Jalen, just have to be patient. Just take what they give you, because last week showed they'll eventually crack. And when they do crack, you just have to take advantage of it.
I
And
feel that if they come out and they're able to play similar to what they did last week against the Jets, I feel that they're going to gain a lot of confidence, Mike, moving
yeah,
forward. They get a bye, they get time to get healthy. You got time to sit back and watch football for a week, come back in with that fresh mindset. And I honestly believe if they play a game like they did when they played against the Jets, they're going to be confident they're going to be able to carry through. Now,
yeah.
if this team comes out and they kind of fall into a trap game situation, even if they win,
Mm-hmm.
then people are going to be still, they're going to be questioning. Now we go into the bye. Everyone's questioning: are we as good as we thought we were? Can this team go to the play? Can this team make a run? So I just hope for everybody's sake and mental stability of the fans of the black and gold, I hope the team could go out and kind of carry over from what happened last week.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't see any reason why they shouldn't be, because again, the Giants they don't stand up to the waist of the Jets, and the Jets again are a 2-5 football team.
Yeah.
So I hope to see more of what we've seen last week. And again, there's no reason why we shouldn't. Let's get caught up on some comments, Mike. John said Fields' running ability didn't outweigh missing open wide receiver tight ends who need to be fed to get paid. Continuing to play Fields would have caused more stress in the locker room. Looking back now, I agree with you, John, but I sure feel comfortable with having him as a backup
Mm-hmm.
because he's a good, again, he could have, despite everything you said, he could be a starter on this team. But the fact that he is our backup and, he's who we're going to fall to if our main guy does get hurt, I feel comfortable with that. When he's in there as a full-time quarterback, as you said, there are certain things, yes, and you sit there and you think, oh, is this a dude? Can we run with this guy? He's missing guys, but I don't think he played bad enough to where you would be scared if he was your quarterback due to being a backup, due to injury, whatever. I think that you would feel kind of, there would be a comfort in that. Mike, anything before I read the next comment regarding that?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm comfortable with Fields as the number 2. And yeah.
Okay. John also says running backs need to stay close to Wilson and block on pass plays. Wilson will roll out of the middle. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And those are going to be one of the things I'm going to be watching this week. I'm going to be watching what what's going on in the trenches. I obviously want to pay attention to what this line is going to do from week to week. And they haven't really disappointed, but seeing how Russell Wilson is able to handle that. And you know what? Just because you handled the Jets defense doesn't mean there aren't packages. As Mike said, there's a couple guys on this Giants defense who are playmakers.
Yeah.
So just because we were able to handle the Jets defense doesn't mean there isn't somebody from the Giants that isn't going to be on Wilson's ass all evening. So those things right there, Mike, always you got to pay attention to is the trenches, which again, a lot of people don't really get into. And I know you do big time. We watch games together.
I love
you were focused on the linemen.
I love watching the big uglies play. Those guys are big ballerinas out there. But talking about like the running backs, watch Jalen Warren in pass protection. Oh my God.
Yeah.
He is just he reads it so well.
And
He
he has
can
that
adapt.
low center of gravity, Mike. So no matter how big you
Mhm.
are,
Yeah,
he comes in with that low
yeah.
center of gravity, and he
It,
gets a good block
yeah.
on you.
You can tell this guy watches a ton of film because
Yeah.
he will identify and he will sit there, look straight ahead, just moving his eyes, know who's coming. He won't key off that he's going that way, make a little step to one side and just jump over to the other side. And he'll just stand there and take it. I remember like training camp, he got beat in one of those pass rush drills back on backers. He got up and said, "No, we're going again." And made the guy run the drill again with him. It caused a fight. This guy loves pass protection, and yeah, he's going to be needed in this game. And real quick, talk about it doesn't seem like this Giants team's that good. They have the number 6 best defense when it comes to passing yards per game. They're only giving up 179 yards a game in, in passing, so it's going to be a struggle for us. We're
So
going to see
maybe looking for a big day from our running backs.
maybe I got to pull up their rushing stats real quick, but like I think we'll be able to move the ball against them because this team's they got to be tired of
Yeah.
losing and losing and losing. So I think we'll be able to move the ball. Oh yeah, their rush defense is giving up 138 yards a game, but like I said last week, it was a struggle for Philly to run the ball.
Mike, you may give
They,
you a little. Like, can I tell you a secret about the Giants?
they suck.
They've been good 5 times in the history of ever.
I know.
Well, here's the thing.
It's like they always win a Super Bowl when they're good.
It's
Though.
either Super Bowl or bust with
not,
them.
yeah.
And again, they've been to 5, and every time that they haven't been to a Super Bowl, they just weren't good.
Yeah.
I'm pretty confident. New York teams in football don't generally have success against the Steelers. Again, what's history going to do for this coming Monday night?
Exactly.
Nothing. But again, New York teams generally have tough time playing us, and we're again a lot of the things that kind of don't matter. They all line up, so I'm kind of banking on that.
Yeah.
Which at the end of the day, I started the sentence by saying they don't matter. But Mike, go ahead, finish that, and I do have a couple thoughts here.
Oh no, I was going to say that defense can be stingy, but I think our offense, the way we're starting to play the last 2 weeks, we will be able to find the soft spots in this team, soft spots in the zone, being patient with the run game. We're seeing Najee be more patient, doing more of a little cutbacks here and there that we haven't seen in his running repertoire, and so I think we'll be able to handle them. And
I
we're
think
not
with
going to fall
Najee
into a
Harris,
trap.
Mike, I think that it's literally doing this by having a quarterback that can throw. It's opening up our run game.
Yeah,
And you know what? Having somebody back there, a quarterback that's a reliable quarterback, that opens
yeah.
up a lot of things. So I think you will start seeing things that haven't happened for this team for a couple seasons. Again, scoring 30 some points. Again, the running game picking up. All those things are a product of having somebody in there who is a quality quarterback, and I think you're going to see more. FIFO on the board says, remember when Khan got us a great wide receiver? No, me neither. Yeah, I know. Unfortunately. Jen says secondary is injured too, giving up a lot of big play yards.
The Giants, yeah.
And John also says the Wilson one-game tape shows he didn't target the middle of the field. Bees will see this and force the issue by trying to shut down the pass plays to the edges. Great, absolutely. And I just don't think these guys are. I think this is going to be a good practice game. And you know what? If this is close, then you know what? Hang me. I'm okay with that. I'll die on this hill. I will die on the hill that I think we're going to beat the New York Giants. I
think we're going to beat them. I think it's going to be a tight game, and then eventually we just take over.
Yeah, I do too. Mike, defense or offense? You want some defense scoop or some offense scoop?
Give me some defensive scoop.
All right, so here we go, guys. The defense, as Mike mentioned yesterday, the defense, let's see. We're giving up 14.4 points a game. I think Mike told us this yesterday. It's number 2 overall. The yards per game, we're giving up 298.3 yards per game. Our defense is. That's 8 overall. Rushing yards per game, 81. We're giving up 81 yards per game. That's number 3 overall in the league. And finally, we're getting 1.9 takeaways per game. That's number 4. And people might say, well, we're supposed to be the number 1 defense. Well, that's how you make number 1. Everything's not going to be number 1. If it is, you're freakish, which, it's possible. But all these numbers do say that we are a pretty good defense. And also, Mike, as far as points per game, we are just slightly ahead of Buffalo and Denver for points given up per game. The Pittsburgh Steelers have the number one defense in that particular category.
That's, to me, the only stat that matters is that points per game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one I care about the most. The yardage, yeah, that can come back to bite you in the ass. We kind of saw that last year against the Browns. We didn't give up a lot of points, but we gave up big yardage at the end, and they were to get that 3 points for the victory. But for me, the most part, I look at scoring defense to see how good you are, because to me, that's what matters most is the scoring. The takeaways. This team is like the article in the Trib yesterday said, they're hunting turnovers. They're hunting the ball. They're an aggressive defense.
I love the aggressiveness.
I love to see it. So far, it hasn't come back to bite us in the ass, guys being overtly aggressive. So they're playing that fine up to the edge, and I love to see that. And another thing about the defense, it's like averaging 5 points given up in the second half.
5.1 points, Mike. 5.1 points giving up in the second half this season.
We shut out 2 or 3 teams in the second half.
Mike, we haven't given up a point in the third quarter.
Yeah.
So these kind of things are pretty freakish, and people should maybe be talking about these things kind of more because again, that's freakish.
Yeah,
5 points of that. Yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, no, we flipped games in that third quarter, where last year that was where teams flipped the game on us. They would come out, they would score at the end of the half, score at the beginning of the half, and we would peter out. Whereas now we're scoring to start the second half. We're shutting them down, and it's just carrying over. Allowed 6 or less points in the second half, 5 out of 7 games. Shut out 3 out of the 7 games we have teams. So
and we haven't up a third. Come on.
Yeah.
So there are reasons to feel optimistic, guys.
On the season too. It's just whew.
And again, I like the progression. As you can see the team improving week to week, that's a great sign. How many week to weeks over the past 2.5 seasons, 3 seasons have we not seen that improvement? Mm-hmm. And we say to ourselves, okay, well, maybe this dude. Listen, you are seeing improvements. This is kind of, and again, I'm not doing the Tomlin and Cowher thing. I'm just saying in the 90s, I remember saying to myself, every week, every year, every season, you felt this team getting a little bit better. You felt them getting a little closer to the Super Bowl every year, and eventually they got there. I feel that from this team. I feel the progression. I feel the team moving forward now. That's what you want to see with your football team. That stagnant feel that we had for the past 2.5 seasons, that's not what you want. Obviously, right? This is, Mike, what you want to see. You want to see your team getting better every week. You want to see the run getting better, then the pass, then the defense. It's coming together. Again, whether they're able to do this long-term for the stretch, I don't know. That remains to be seen. But from what I'm seeing right now, there is improvement, and there is reason for people to be encouraged by what they're seeing by this Pittsburgh Steelers team. Are there holes? Sure. But you know what? Mm-hmm. Go to your reigning champions, Mike. The Kansas City Chiefs. They got plenty of holes. In the NFL, there's no team that's sitting above everybody else right now. Yes, the Chiefs are undefeated, but look at them and everybody else in that next group. Mike, I think anybody, a lot of teams are in it this year.
Yeah, I think so too. And you just look at the standings; it's playing out. Like I think you're looking to see, I think Baltimore slowly separating themselves, but yet they haven't played us yet.
We're the best team they're going to play.
Yeah, and we played them the best. Yeah, they added Derrick Henry. We can stop Lamar. We can stop Derrick Henry. We have the track record, but can we stop them both in their new passing attack? That's going to be a huge test for their offense and our defense. That game, it's going to be a typical Steeler-Raven game. I don't think it's being a blowout.
I can't wait. And
I think they're the cream of the crop of the NFL right now. The Vikings took a step back on that loss last week. The Niners, they can't have a healthy wide receiver. The most healthy one's the guy who got shot in the chest. So,
yeah, I tell you what, there's a lot of teams that I thought were going to be good this year. They're just not.
That were slipping. Yeah, even the Bengals. I thought they were. I'm glad they're sucking, but I thought they'd be a much better team than they are. That defense has been a disappointment. Buffalo's not a complete team either.
I'm not scared. You know what? They beat the shit out of us last year. Don't get me wrong in the playoffs, but I'm not scared of them this year. There's there's a different feel in the air this year.
Yeah.
I feel that they're totally beatable. A little bit ago on the board, I don't know how far, a little bit ago, Phil still says he'll start talking once we get to November 18th. I don't have the schedule in front of me. I'm guessing that's probably right around the Raven game. Is that what you were talking about, Phil, the Steel? Also, let's catch up on some of these other ones. I thank you so much to the child of the 1970s. He says, good podcast. We appreciate that tremendously. Thank you. Also, FIFO says our offense needs to be as aggressive as what we saw with the Rams versus Vikings. They would answer each other's score. Otherwise, we're not contenders. I agree. And John says eye test equals best play since Ben's prime. Absolutely, man. You got to like what's going on. And again, you kind of know that this isn't the permanent answer.
No.
Like,
Russell Wilson. Either are, maybe.
No, I don't either. And I think as the Packers do well and a couple other teams, maybe we should start eyeing quarterbacks for the next couple seasons in the draft, just to kind of keep an eye, see what's going on. And if you have to get a quarterback a year earlier than you wanted to, and you have that opportunity, I think that you have to do it. Put him behind your starter, let him learn, as Green Bay did with Aaron Rodgers from Favre, as they did with Jordan Love from Rodgers. So they have a system that works. We have to kind of figure out what we want to do. Otherwise, we're going to have to try to catch that lightning in a bottle when we absolutely need it, the way we did Ben Roethlisberger. We got lucky. That doesn't happen all the time. We have to realize that. So maybe start trying to game plan in that area because, again, Russell Wilson's not getting any younger. And, again, Fields, he may or may not work out. So it wouldn't be a bad idea.
And I think the plan this year was Russell's going to start from day one. Fields is just going to be there watching, learning, that guy in the wings. We'll sign you to a contract. We'll give you that $20-25 million a year contract. That puts you at the low end of starting quarterback play until we can find a quarterback in the draft that we can put behind you. Like you learn from Russ. They can kind of sit and watch the game, learn from you, and then we got our guy on the cheap for another couple years while we build up the rest of the team around you. But Russ's injury kind of accelerated the evaluation process of Fields, and I think that was a blessing in disguise. You were able to see, okay, what do we have with Justin? Okay, his completion percentage is a whole hell of a lot better this year than it has been in his career, but we're seeing that he's missing guys. Now we know what we need to work on him if we want him to be here long term, or even just in the short term, we know what kind of offense we're going to have, so we don't have to scramble and find someone. And if they would sign Fields in the offseason to a 2-3 year deal, I wouldn't be opposed to that as long as the price is right, because I think he can be the guy, that bridge quarterback, until we can find our next guy. Because I don't think Russ, if he plays well, there's a lot of ifs in this statement. If we play well, if we make it to the playoffs, if we win a game, I don't think Russ will come back. I think a team we see this all the time. Oh my God, he saw stuff left in the tank. Here's another $80 million contract. We're going to back it up too. Here's $30 million.
And then that team will realize that he's 60 years old, whatever, after they give him all the money. Speaking of quarterbacks, Mike, in the division, let me get into this real quick. We do have to move on. In the division, the Browns, they host the Ravens this week. I highly doubt we're going to get any help in that game. However, the Browns, of course, with their quarterback issues, Bailey Zappi from the New England Patriots did get signed by the Cleveland Browns. So you never know. We get the Browns short, in a few weeks. Maybe we might be seeing Bailey Zappi, but he is on the Browns right now, Mike. And I got to be honest, this week I'm pulling for Bailey to beat the Ravens. But
I think Jameis Winston's getting the start. I think Zappi's going to be their backup because I think DTR is hurt. But I think they're a much better team with Jameis Winston at quarterback.
We will see. This team has one win. We'll see if they can improve. Also, Mike, the Bengals, they host the Philadelphia Eagles. Maybe we could get a little help on that. And I'm going to kind of connect that to what John says. The Bengals are an example of why the NFL is a team sport. Burrow's kicking ass, but the others are ass. I couldn't agree more. I think when they gave up half of their skill players, that's when their team started to go downhill. You lose Mixon, you lose Boyd. These other two receivers right now, you can't tell if they're happy. You don't know what's going on over there. But the Bengals, we could use a little help from our Commonwealth neighbors, the Philadelphia Eagles. Maybe they could take care of business.
I think the Eagles win this one.
I think so too.
The way A.J. Brown and Hurts are playing the past 2-3 weeks, this is what they were during their Super Bowl run. Those guys are playing well. Saquon's starting to play get better line play, and he's starting to run well. And that Bengals defense is straight ass.
Yeah, I can't see the Bengals winning this football game. I can't see the Bengals. So that's what's going on in the division, and of course we play Monday. Mike, let me hit on a couple other things. We are running late in the show. Yes, Jen, the Browns are still the Browns, as Derpy always says. Hey, you know what? In the next
Browns are the Browns.
Phil still says Zappy and Derpy. But yes, that's what Derpy always says. The Browns are going to brown. Also, guys, Penguin fans, the Penguins are back in action tonight. They play 2 games in a row this weekend. They do travel to Edmonton tonight at 9 o'clock to play. The Penguins come into the game with a 3-4-1 record. The Edmonton Oilers are 2-4-1. And then the Penguins are back in action over on the west coast of Canada. They play the Canucks tomorrow night at 10 o'clock. So tonight at 9 against Edmonton, tomorrow 10 o'clock against Vancouver. And that is Pittsburgh Penguin hockey throughout the weekend. The Pittsburgh Riverhounds, our soccer team, they do take on, Mike, the El Paso Locomotive. We talked about that earlier in the week. 2-2. The Hounds take on El Paso Locomotive. That's tomorrow at 7 o'clock. And if you're keeping an eye on the World Series, that starts tonight. The Yankees at the Dodgers, game 1, 8:08 tonight. And then tomorrow's game 2, Yankees at the Dodgers. That is also an 8:08 start. So the World Series is underway, and we will have a champion, a new World Series champion before you know it, Mike. But and also finally, the last week in the Western Pennsylvania Whitfield of high school football is this week. Playoffs start next week. We'll be paying close attention to a lot of our local teams on that. But Mike, a lot going on this weekend as far as sports. But before we continue on, go ahead and tell everybody about the website.
Head on over to the2dumbyinjers.com. Check it out, guys. We got all of our social media links down there. We got, what else we got? We got the merch store. We got the blog. The blog will be updated later tonight. Little thoughts about the Steelers and their upcoming matchup and their hunt for hopefully a number 2 wide receiver. Someone just a little bit better than Van Jefferson.
I just think we could be so good, Mike. I think we could be so good if they would just go out and get that guy. I think that would make such an improvement on this team.
Like a Christian Kirk, the other guy from the Raiders who we were talking about yesterday. Who's it? Myers. If we can get someone like those guys, someone who can get you 800-900 yards a year, 700 yards, 6-7 touchdowns, this team would be perfect. Yeah, so check it out at the2dumbyinjers.com.
Too bad that Deontay Johnson, he glitched all the time and ran backwards. You know what I mean? Sorry, I know that's a touchy subject with Mike.
I love Deontay. Misunderstood wide receiver in Pittsburgh history.
Most misunderstood. Mike, so it is trivia time. This is New York Giants trivia. Of course, on the show, we will ask trivia questions about the team that Steelers play that upcoming week. So this question is a Giants question, guys. Mike, put on your thinking caps. Guys on the board, gals on the board. When everybody at home, here we go. This is the trivia question of the day. This is about the New York Giants. Here we go. Who has the most career receiving yards for the New York Giants in history? Who is the all-time leading receiving yards player for the Giants? Take a minute to think that over. We're live 5 days a week right here, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, every day throughout the week, right here on YouTube. All right, guys, so the question of the day is this. Who has the most career receiving yards in New York Giant history? Mike, I'm going to give you some choices. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Is it A, Odell Beckham Jr.? Is it B, Jeremy Shockey? Is it C, Almani Toomer? Or is it D, Frank Gifford? The question again, who has the most career receiving yards in New York Giant history? Feel the Steel saying Almani Toomer, a good pick. Again, your choices are Odell Beckham Jr., Jeremy Shockey, Almani Toomer, and Frank Gifford. Any guesses, Mike?
I'm going with Jeremy Shockey just because I haven't thought about Jeremy Shockey in it feels like 10 years.
He's a beast. I used to love Shockey, man.
I hate him.
And you know what? FIFO also says B. He also says Jeremy Shockey. I'll give people on the board a few more seconds. Question again is, who has the most career receiving yards for the Giants in the history of the team? Your choices are Odell Beckham Jr., Jeremy Shockey, Almani Toomer, or Frank Gifford. On the board, Field of Steel says Almani Toomer.
Frank Gifford.
FIFO says Jeremy Shockey. Mike says Jeremy Shockey. P says Jeremy Shockey. Jen says Almani Toomer. John says no clue, maybe Frank Gifford. A lot of different answers today, Mike. So is this your final answer? You want to stay with
He's my
Jeremy Shockey?
Final answer.
All right. So it shall be. All right, guys, the question of the day heading into the weekend. He was, yes, Shockey was Gronk 1.0.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
Child of the 1970s, says Almani Toomer.
It's not a tumor.
All right. So the question of the day is this, guys. Who has the most career receiving yards for the New York Giants in their team history? P says Toomer played longer, though. Your choices are A, was it Odell Beckham Jr.? Was it B, Jeremy Shockey? Was it C, Almani Toomer? Or D, Frank Gifford? I think somebody chose pretty much everybody in this list except for OBJ. So it would be a kick in the head if it was him. Guys, the answer to the question, the most common answer given was Shockey and Toomer. And Mike had chose Jeremy Shockey. And Mike, you would be wrong. It was Almani Toomer. But nice try, though. I wouldn't have known that. I may have guessed Toomer if I didn't, know the answer. You know what? Brian also says, he goes, I was going to guess Tiki Barber. I was going to add that in there just because I thought that too, because he did catch a lot out of that backfield. But yes, guys, Almani Toomer was the correct answer. Damn. Toomer is the all-time with 9,497 yards.
Damn.
He was a beast. I do recall. I was a child, but I do remember he was good. Yeah. And that's when the Steelers weren't good. So I mean, you had all the time in the world to pay attention to what everybody else was doing.
To everyone else, yeah.
Mike, anything before we start getting ready to wrap it up for the weekend, man?
What was that?
Anything?
Oh yeah. To add, real quick, it's going to be a Penguin topic. Tristan Jarry is not with the team right now. He's back in Pittsburgh working on his game. So their goalies are Ned and the rookie Bloomquist. That does not speak well for Tristan Jarry. He just signed that massive contract 2 years ago, and now he is left in Pittsburgh to work on his game.
Penguins are in West Canada taking on teams tonight and tomorrow, and they tell their goalie, "Hey, just go ahead and stay home."
They got a case of the yips. You got a case of the yips for the past 3 years.
So that's not looking good for Jory, especially as you said after the contract, Mike. I do want to start by saying this. I want to say, join us Monday morning. Again, we will be kind of having Brian Pasquale from One Man's Opinion will be joining us for a while on Monday to do a segment of his Sunday morning show since the Steelers don't play till Monday night. So that will all be included in our Monday night show. You're going to want to catch us then. Also, this weekend, a lot of stuff going on in sports. You got a lot of college football. As I mentioned earlier in the show, there's a lot of ranked team playing. In hockey, the Penguins play tonight and tomorrow. If you're in town, go check out the Riverhounds as they host El Paso Locomotive at Highmark Stadium. Also, Mike, a lot of NFL games going on this weekend, but the big one, of course, will be Monday night, Giants at the Steelers at Acrisure Stadium. I can't wait. Everybody can't wait, Mike. Again, I think it's going to be a party down on the north side. Mm-hmm. I just do. It's a primetime game. Pittsburgh Steelers have not lost a primetime home game since 1992. It's going to be a party down on the north side, the North Shore, if you will. Also, I do want to tell everybody, I want to say thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us today and joining us. We do appreciate each and every one of you. Yes, every one of you. We wouldn't do it without you. Thank you so much. Everybody on the board, you guys always keep things interesting. Thank you as well. With that being said, Mike, we got, again, these Monday night games are rough. I like them.
Yeah.
But you know what? You have to endure the whole weekend. You have to watch everybody else's games. And then
you got to endure Monday.
And then go to work on Monday. But you know what? Once it's here, it's fun, man. It's a blast.
Yeah, it is here. I can't wait. I cannot wait. Pittsburgh Steelers are going to walk away with a victory. I'm calling it now.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yep.
So everybody, please be careful this weekend. Stay safe. We want to see you back on Monday morning, but we will be back Monday first thing to get ready for the big game Monday night. I can't wait to see everybody. So, Mike, anything else before we wrap it up?
I got nothing.
My only thing is this, guys. If you go to buy your goldfish at the grocery store, they may be changed to the Chilean sea bass. I don't know. I don't know what this idea was. It's marketing, but there you go.
I'm gonna go buy me some now.
Are now goldfish. The child snacks are now going to be called the Chilean sea bass. So there you go. Thank you, John, as well. As long as we don't start playing down to the teams as we tend to do. Yeah, FIFA, I'm sure that's going to happen eventually. You know what I mean? They just do that. And then greetings from Claysburg, Pennsylvania. Have a great weekend. Thank you, child of the 1970s. It's great hearing from you as well in Claysburg. But Mike, my friend, speak now, forever hold your peace, brother.
I got nothing. We'll see you all back Monday.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Have a safe weekend. Again, Monday morning, join us. We'll be getting ready for the big game Monday night. Getting ready to head into that bye week. For Mike in the Steelers Central Mobile Studio, myself, the two Dumb Yinzers, everybody have a great, safe weekend, and we'll see you on Monday. Bye-bye.